Hi everyone, I'm Pietro Lordi, as Bernd introduced, and I'm from CLEVER FRANKE. I'm UX designer, and I've been working there for 5 years right now. Today I want to talk to you about a project we've done last year for BMX. So I'm gonna quickly introduce the company I work for. CLEVER FRANKE is a design agency. We work a lot with digital experiences, and we have a focus on data visualization. Usually, we create data-driven experiences, and that means that we can try to connect people with data and technology. We do that in different offices around the world. I work in Utrecht, where is our headquarters, and we have a team with about 30 people. Most of them and most of us are designers and developers. And we do that for different brands across the globe. A few to mention are Google, Elsevier, the Warner Music Group, and so on. But coming to the project I want to show you today, it's really focused on data visualization, but with sensors used in real time. This posed a few new challenges that we were not confident with yet, but also a few exciting possibilities. To start with, BMX is a sport that comes from the street. It's a urban sport, and it's really amazing to see these crazy people doing tricks and jumps on their small bikes. And it's a sport that it's been growing in terms of popularity recently, and especially in the past years. I think what is really interesting about this sport is that next year, during the Olympics in Tokyo, they're going to be added as a new sport. And that poses new challenges for them as well, because they need to professionalize the sport, trying to get more rules and set some rules about how can we actually judge a sport where even the style of the performance is really important. So the KNVU, which is the Royal Dutch Cyclist Federation, contacted CLEVER FRANKE to help them to professionalize the sport, as well as creating a real-time live data visualization for the Dutch National Championships that took place in Eindhoven the past year in December. We did that with some additional partners that were responsible for the sensors and for the venue itself. The goal was really obvious at the beginning of the project. It was to use sensors to create a live data visualization for the event itself, and to visualize the performance in real time for the riders. We had a lot of opportunities. We were really excited to jump on the project. I think what really in the team took the most excitement was the possibilities we could work with. And that was, of course, to mention working with live data visualization. That's something that we were not comfortable with, but we were really happy to try and explore what were the options, which was also an engaging data visualization that could have been used and explored by and experienced by a big audience during the event. It was the sport, so the subject of the project itself was really cool for us. And finally, we could really work with technology that is really precise, used for sport. So that was really something we were really keen to start to work on. So we dive right away into the technology. We start to look into what are the amazing opportunities that we have in terms of sensors and so on. Unfortunately, it was not so easy. I have to say that finding sensors that are precise, small enough to be used on the bikes, with the budget we had, which was actually zero, I think that is something that many people here can relate to. So that was really a difficult challenge. We really didn't know anymore what to look for. That also meant we didn't have really real data or data sets to base our initial concepts on. That posed other difficulties because usually you take some, if the sensor or the technology is not ready yet, you take some examples of existing data sets to base your ideation process on. That also meant that there was a risk that the project would not go further. So we were really a bit struggling with how can we solve this challenge and how can we go further with this project. And it was only when someone from our team came up with the idea, okay, maybe we should stop looking for sensors within the sport discipline and start to look for sensors in some other industries that maybe are not something we are thinking of in the first place. And really, it was quite interesting and surprising that the sensor we found was actually a sensor that is being used for forklifts. Forklifts are just used indoor in warehouses. And I don't know about you, but they don't really move the same way a BMX rider does. So that was really interesting. It's actually a very precise sensor. It's pretty small. It's cheap. So we started to explore that, and we attached it to a bike. Actually, we attached 2 sensors to each bike, one in the front and one on the back, because it gave us enough opportunities to see the movements in a more precise way. And we envisioned that there would be a net of receiving sensors within the location, so on the park and on the ceiling of the venue. And we attached them with tie wraps that really help to easily attach and detach them from bike to bike, because during the live competition we had to swap quickly and really with fast, basically, between bikes. The sensor was actually pretty good. We had a lot more than we expected in the beginning, so we had different type of data, and we did some tests with a rider, with a BMX rider, to see what would come out of the first tests. Unfortunately, something else happened. This was the first result of the tests. As you can see, the lines are really scattered. The data is not really precise. It keeps jumping from a place to the other. And that posed some big challenges for the project, because this is something that everyone would see on a big screen. So we had to find ways to turn these into a quality for the project. That was only 2 weeks before the event, so we really had to come up with a solution pretty fast. And that was the biggest learning from this project, which I hope it can be useful for everyone working with data in general. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And especially when you work and collaborate with different disciplines and different partners, often all these moving pieces come together only towards the end of the project. With so many unknowns and different difficulties with the data quality and so on, we had to redefine a bit the project goal. So we decided to not focus too much on the quality of the data and visualizing the numbers and the data in a raw format. We thought about why shouldn't we just improve the overall audience experience for everyone that is there to watch the sport. So we started to explore different visuals. We decided to put more effort and focus on the visualization aspect of the entire live data visualization. So we started to explore more with big numbers, big visualizations, and see what would come out of it. We also did a lot of testing. We went on location to test what was the contrast, the font size that we could use, the color ratio, and so on. So even though we had a lot of setbacks and different difficulties during the process of the project, eventually we were able to realize the first ever live data visualization of a BMX freestyle competition. And I want to give you a quick preview of how that went. Pretty crazy, right? So as you can see, the screen is really part of the experience for the audience. It's not in front of the audience. It's not distracting. It's just in the background, so it can help to create some a sort of cohesive experience. And it's placed, as you can see in this picture here. There is the jury. And the jury is placed right on top of the screen, so it's pretty interesting, this collaboration of where to place the screen. Those were all things we had to come up with. Eventually, we didn't stop at working on the live data visualization, so the performance itself, but we really used the screen as an opportunity to show a bit more. So we started to focus on showing the event schedule, showing who would be the next runner for the competition, a replay, and a leaderboard with a score from the jury. That was all possible because we defined the solution in 2 layers. So at the bottom, we have the live data visualization in Unity software. And on top of that, we had a Keynote file, actually, just with type that we could edit in real time. This seems simple, but actually everything can go wrong, and you need to be prepared during the live event, because if something crashes, well, the whole experience crashes. So we had to come up with some fallbacks. So in case the sensors would stop working on or something like that, we created a fallback 3D animation of basically a camera going through a 3D render of the park, and that would create a sort of like less strong fallback, so you wouldn't really perceive it if something goes fast. In case that would also fall, we had an image, and if that would also stop working, let's say the entire software crashes, we had a desktop wallpaper, which didn't look like this, but more like this. This is how the whole venue was set up, so you can see a lot of machines, a lot of people ready to work pretty quickly. I want to also show you what was the outcome of after the event. So we took all the data, we cleaned it up a bit, and we created some of the renders. And this is how it looked like. We won an award with this project at the Dutch Design Awards this year. And you can see this project together with the BMX and the sensor we use at VAME and Stripe S together with other projects that won that award. I have one more thing I want to share with you. CLEVER FRANKE is working together with Raum in Utrecht at Cirque du Data. Cirque du Data is an interactive data show, so we're using different installations, data magicians, and so on to help bring closer the citizens to the concept of data and privacy in the surroundings of the smart city. Thank you very much.